Is the world set against the US dollar? It certainly seems like it if you watch the financial news media. And today I wanted to spend some time talking about what a reserve currency is, why it's important, and what sort of implications it is and why implications it has, and why it's something that we're paying attention to here at Fross and Fross Wealth Management. So just to get started, as always, I'm Zachariah Montera here with Fross and Fross Wealth Management, and I'm going to start by covering what is a reserve currency, why is it important, and why are we watching it, and then also just talking about the main takeaways and things that we can actually control and do about this. So to start off, a reserve currency is essentially just an agreed upon currency for any sort of transaction. Let's just say that I wanted to buy a car from you. Well, the reserve currency for you and I to buy a car here in the United States would be the US dollar. Of course, I guess today you could go out and say, I'll give you Bitcoin or something for this car, but in reality, most transactions in the United States are still done with the US dollar. And after World War II, there was an agreement called the Bretton Woods Agreement between a lot of different countries in the United States that said, we will all agree to use the US dollar. We will all hold it in our national banks, just like we have the Federal Reserve here. They're going to open up an account with the Federal Reserve, and they're going to make sure that they have our US dollars in their countries. And then the second part is they will use US dollars to have different transactions for commodities. Think oil, wheat, coffee, things of that nature. So if France wanted to buy oil from Saudi Arabia, they're going to use US dollars, not their own currency or the euro or something like that. And so that's where we're at today. The United States dollar still accounts for about 58 to 59% of global currency transactions for different trade. And already the euro is about 20%. And so I say all that to say, if these countries like Trump was threatening 100% tariffs on the BRICS countries, BRICS is BRICS, just stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. If those countries wanted to make their own currency, there could be some room in there for that. They're already using other currencies right now to settle some transactions, like Russia, after the invasion of Ukraine, is using Saudi Arabia's currency to buy and sell oil with India. And why is this important, I guess, is the main question. Why am I even talking about this? Well, because in order for us to benefit from a reserve currency, or what I should say is the benefits of a reserve currency, is that we can continue to run large deficits, we can have large amounts of debt, and it keeps our interest rates lower. Obviously, the interest rates have gone up over the last couple of years, but even still, they're a lot lower than some other countries, and it's allowed us to bring the debt to the level that it's at today and run the deficit that we have right now. Now, if we ever lost the reserve currency status, if we had to start buying other countries' currency to then bring in goods for Amazon for them to sell or anything like that, suddenly we probably have another inflation problem, probably have higher interest rates on the government level, and the government might be cutting different programs to bring down the deficit because we're not able to run a deficit anymore because no one's buying the US Treasury bonds. And so that's the main concern there. And what's the takeaway with that? Well, a lot of it is unfortunately out of our control, really, because we're not the ones making these day-to-day decisions within Congress or anything like that. It really is largely dependent on what they do moving forward and how they're able to get the deficit under control, hopefully, and get things worked out with other global trade partners. And so we'll see what happens. I don't think this is something that'll be answered next year or in the next 2 years or even 4 years. This is probably something that'll be playing out over my lifetime. And more than likely, we'll just not have a real clear answer. It'll just eventually start gradually going in decline, or the reverse could happen where the US dollar starts taking a larger share back in the global marketplace. So we'll see what happens. It's not really that much in our control, but it is something that we can address and plan for as things go down in the future. And so that's something that we're watching. If you have questions about this, please get with your advisor. And as always, we're here to help you focus on the things that you and we can actually control, like how to make sure we're meeting your goals and objectives, how to make sure your finances and your investments and everything like that are all working the way they should be. And so those are the things we can help you narrow down. A lot of this stuff It's just out there. We're watching it for you, so you don't have to be worrying about it. And we're here for you with any questions that you might have. Take care. Bye.